Guys, welcome back. So today we are going to do two questions. So let's start with question 3. So question 3 is to implement the polyfill of Promise.race. So today is also this question is based on Promise. So here we are how Promise.race work is like it also takes array of promises and it resolves or rejects as soon as one of the promise is settled. Like here in the example you can see the promise 1 is taking 300 milliseconds to resolve this to resolve P1, and here P2 is taking 100 milliseconds to resolve P2. So if you compare these two, then this is means P2 is faster than P1. So what happen is like it will simply return the promise adapt state and value of the first settled promises. So as you can see here, this one is P2 is settled first. So it simply return the P2 values because it is resolved first. So for this, so in this way, promise.race work. So to implement the promise race method, just I will copy this and let's go and implement that function. So it is much easier compared to other promises. So just we need to create const promise all which takes promises, and here in the return we create a new object of promise, and in the promise it similarly takes two things, resolve and reject. And here what we will do is like we will loop through all the promises. For that we use for let promise of promises, and here we will do like promise dot resolve, and everything is first we will resolve the promise. If everything is good, then we will simply tell that resolve, and if there is any error then we will just say reject. So that's it. So in the promise state we there is no more code. It's simple to write this promise race method. Let's check whether it is working or not. So simply what I will do is from here I will take this example and I will paste here. So here you can see I have created like P1 by using the new promise object, which is taking this promise to resolve is 300 milliseconds. This is 100 milliseconds and 150 milliseconds. I am simply calling this method and passing array of all these promises, and simply I am consoling it and catching the error. So let's run this code. So here you can see we are getting P2 because here P2 is taking less time compared to others. Suppose if I increase here like 200 milliseconds. So from this you can see P3 has less time compared to others. So here we expect our output as P3. So just run it and you can see here we got P3. So in this way our promise race work. And also if there is any rejection case like um, here is the resolving. If here I will write reject, and here our problem got rejected, promise got rejected, and I will decrease this. Like first I will check whether it is working or not. So let's run this code and let's see what we get out. So we are getting here P3. So in this case we have this rejection case, but also we are getting P3 because P3 is faster enough compared to these two. Suppose I make this like 100 milliseconds and now I will run, then what we can expect is like P2 means this is rejection error because this is faster compared to other. So here you can see we got an error because this is executed first and it is rejected, so we got an error. So in this way promise race work. So it is mainly used like if we have multiple APIs for the same purpose and we need to get the data. So if any of means from 3 APIs, the API which is faster, from there we get our data. That's it. So in that case we use promise race. So now let's go to other question. So other question is like polyfill for promise.allSettled. So it is similar to our promise.all, but difference is that you can see here we get output as object of an array. So you can see here promise.allSettled method is like it return all the promises that resolves after all the input promise settled, regardless the success or failure. So in this case what happen is we get both the success and the rejection as an output. Here you can see for each result in an object with either, like if it is failed, then also we get our output as a value, and if there is rejection then we will get reason also. So it never rejects. So basically anything, if it is failure or rejection, we will get output in a proper manner. So it will never reject, it always resolves with an array that results object. So let's see how we can implement this. And here in the example you can see here P1 is like resolve P1 and here P2 is some rejection. So when we are calling this method, then we are getting output like here for P1 we are getting value as status as fulfilled and value as 1, and as P2 is rejected, so we are getting here like rejected and reason is some error message. What is here, that message we will get here. So let's implement this. So here at the bottom let's create the variable like function promise all settled. It also takes promises, and simply what it will do, like it will return object of promise, and this object has resolve and reject parameters. So by using these we will continue our all settled method. So here what we will do is like similar to our promise.all, here also we will store our result. So I will create an array here, and to track our promises settlement we will create a variable called settled count, which is initially 0. And to handle our test case of when we haven't passed any promises, then what we will do is like we will handle like if promise says dot length is equal to 0, then simply return resolve with an empty array. If it doesn't, if it has promises, then simply promises dot for each method. Here we will take the each promise with its index, and here what we will do is like simply we will promise dot resolve, and I will pass here the each promise. And if we have resolved that promise, then we will get value from it, and that value we will store in our results by using the index as an object. So here object first is like status, which is fulfilled. We can give here any message for the success, we can here give like status is success or failure. Like this also we can give or fulfilled. And here value is like value. And in case if we have an error, so here we will catch that error, and simply what we will do is like we will store that error also in our result. So here results with an index, and same status is here we will write rejected or failed. And here reason for failure is like is that the error, what we are getting error, just I passed here as a error. And finally here, compared to promise.all and promise.allSettled, difference is like here we are continuing the process. If there is any error also we are continuing further. So for that we are using finally, and finally is like here it takes callback function, and here we are what we are doing is like simply um, incrementing our settle count, and just here writing the resolve is results. That's it. So in this way we write our promise all settled. Let me show you our day 1 thing. Okay, it is in day 2. So you can see promise all method. Here what we are doing, here we are creating result and complete count, checking for if there is no promise means we are showing empty array, and we are looping through each array, and we are then storing that if it is resolved, then storing the result in the value in the result. And simply we are, if completed is equal to promise length, then we are simply showing our resolved result. And if there is an error, we are getting error. So here in both case, if here we are showing one of the cases, like if we have resolved, then resolve, if we have an error, then show error. But in promise all settled, here what we are doing, like if we have resolved case, then show the result, and if we have result case, then also show the result case, means rejection case, and finally show all. So in this way promise.settle work. Let's check how whether it is correct or not. So let me copy this one example, and let me paste it here, and I will be uncommenting this, and just I will run this whether it is working or not. So you can see here we got the output like same as here, like fulfilled value is 1, reason is error, and because we have passed here error, that's why we are getting here error. And fulfill here resolve is 3, it is fulfilled, so we are value is 3. So in this way it works. So it depend upon us what to use, means it is based on our use case. So there are many methods in promise. So that's it for today. So thank you for watching, and do like and subscribe, and see you in the next day with a new topic. Thank you for watching.